Assuming you're going to work on something for the first time, chances are high that you might humiliate yourself. Yet what it implies is, assuming you're willing to be the sort of individual that will humiliate themselves, it implies you're attempting a new thing. It implies you're making it work when every other person remains uninvolved. Thus, something that I would urge you to do is that when you feel that shivering like you're beginning to keep yourself down, since you begin contemplating what every one of your companions are pondering, whether that is a second to go, that woman was taking graciously this around 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going for it. Here's a way into Easy Street. Figure out how to put that all you have into all that you do. Anything that you're doing, pour it on. It will rapidly open up into an open door. Or on the other hand, rapidly uncover to you that you should accomplish something different. The daydream is, if I had superior work, I'd truly pour it on. See, that is a dream. Any place you are, pour it on. Try not to give someone a portion of a task for a day request. Pour it on and see if that will help change your life. Hey, work to your potential, not your quota. If you want to stay motivated, if you want to answer the question to why do people that have already made it keep pushing, it is because they don't operate on quotas, they operate off potential. They are driven to reach their potential. This is also tied to their ethical obligation. They know what they're capable of. Nobody can tell you what you're capable if you're the only one that knows. So work to your potential, not your quota. So, how many of you believe in your life that your worst day can become your best day? If you turn it around, I happen to believe that honestly, the old in a lot of books you read, oh, there's a seed of every adversity. There's a seed of greatness. You've all heard that before, right? But it's true. If you were to go back in your life, some of the greatest trials and tribulations, difficulties you've gone through have ended up producing the most beautiful things in your life. Is it true? Yes. Even when you don't want it to be there, you can't stop yourself right now from thinking, you can do it. It's going on. And so learning how to empower yourself, part of doing that is standing up to yourself. And I'm telling you, if you can apply this particular principle, this is like a key that's gonna unlock all doors. I need you to deal with a problem. I don't care how complex. I don't care how big. I don't care how small the problem is. The secret isn't actually dealing with it. You'll get scared sometimes. Your mind will go blank on you. Some people you will allow to unnerve you. And you wonder, what's wrong with me? I'm not crazy. That's why you've got to learn to make conscious, deliberate, determined effort to stand up inside yourself. Working in yourself, watching that inner dialogue will determine the quality of your life. You can be a history maker, or you can be liked by everyone around you. You can't be both. I mean, the very nature of living your personal greatness and doing something otherworldly in our world of ours means you're going to have to think differently from the majority. You're going to have to install the habits and routines that most people don't do. You're going to have to live, talk, breathe, walk, work, produce, create in a way that most people who are card-carrying members of the cult of mediocrity just don't buy into it. When you look at most people in the world today, and this is not judging, this is just reporting, but they are addicted to the entertainment. They love gossiping. They're negative. They're toxic. Anyone who wants to do anything great, they want to bring them down. They dismiss the game changers, and they're just coasting through life. And so the very nature of you stepping up your game, living your greatest potential, owning your craft, dominating your field, and living a life that's legendary means you're gonna have to leave the 5% and decide to live as very few people do. Think about that. Now, see, I think that when you decide to leap and you can handle the challenges that you're facing, read something about fear. That's one of the things that keeps us from beginning to live life. Here's what happened. This guy, John Rogers, wrote that he said, when people take the courage journey into the center of their fear, they find nothing. And it's only many layers of fear of being afraid of itself. And Eleanor Roosevelt said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You're able to say to yourself, I have lived through this horror, I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you cannot do. See, that's what the volcano is. It is the thing that we cannot do. And because it is what we must do that, once fear is acted upon, the death of fear is certain. If you had 6 months to live, what would you do differently with your life? What would you do differently? Would you have the same job? Would you be worried about things that you're worried about now? Would you have the same relationships? Would you have the same people in your life? If you're going through a challenge, not that you have been laid off, but the universe has given you an opportunity to find your real true making on the planet, then use that time wisely to volunteer to give yourself away. My high school teacher Charles Williams said something I love. He said, "Love and happiness are like perfumes. You cannot sprinkle it on others without getting a few drops on yourself." Isn't that beautiful? See, what you give is what you get, alright? Most people fear change, and a lot of people stay in jobs where they are miserable, or stay in relationships where they're miserable sometimes in order to begin to see the daisies in life. And you've got to be willing to change cities, change friends, change relationships, change jobs. See, after a while you get bored doing the same old thing in the same old way, day in and day out. Human beings were designed to achieve, and when you are not on path of developing your greatness and growing and being more productive and being more effective, then your life literally becomes depressing. See, the psychiatrist talked about the fact that these people who had been on this couch for months and years not being able to make decisions about things, but when they find out that they are dying, they got up and started making all kinds of decisions. They decided no longer to sell out. And do you know what happened to me? When I lost my job, you know what I think it was? What life said to me more or less. Les Brown, you know you can do more than what you're doing. Les Brown, you have sold out. Les Brown, go home. Go in your drawer. Pull out your check stubs and see how much you've sold your soul for. See, one of the things that got me about the movie is what Joe said to his boss after the doctor told him he was going to die. He went back to work and confronted him. He said, "Because I was afraid to live my life, I sold it to you for $300 a week. I sold my soul for $300 a week. When I look at y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I've sold out for myself different points in my life. And when you go home and look at you, if your life is not what you want it to be, if you're not living the way that you want to live, if you're not experiencing what you want to experience, if it's not giving what you want, you've got to ask yourself, what have I sold my soul?" Remember that song, 16 Tons? What do you get? Another day older and deeper in death. Saint Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company of the store. Oh no, this is not Luther Vandross tonight. The last time I sang, Luke called my hotel and made a bomb threat. No, that song is depressing, ladies and gentlemen. But many of us have sold our souls for home in the suburbs, or a brand new car, or 3 meals a day and a roof over our heads, or because we want to be popular with our friends. See, when you decide to make a change, it is challenging. That there's going to be some resistance and everybody's not going to agree with what they're priced to pay. The emotions that can change your life. Human beings are emotional creatures, and emotions are powerful for life change. Now, of course, emotions are so powerful. They can go either way on you. Emotions can either build or destroy, so you really have to employ emotions properly. We call civilization, the intelligent management of human emotions. If you can intelligently apply your emotions in the right direction, no telling what can happen could turn your life around one day would be sufficient. The major key to your better future is you. That's the theme of our seminar tonight. The major key to your better future is always you. And I'd like to have you underline 2 words just to give it some added punch. Underline the word major and the word you, so that it reads, the major key to your better future is you. Now, my first suggestion is transfer this to a card or something where you can put it up, where you can see it every day. Preferably put it up where you can see it as the beginning of the day before you go off to put the day together. This is a good phrase just to glance at, to keep in mind as you're putting the day together. It's called the Silent Seminar. If you'll just let this talk to you during the day, I found it to be tremendously helpful. The major key to your better future is you. Number 1, you can't get somebody else's time. A guy says to me one time, he says, "You know, if I had some extra time, I could make some extra money." I said, "Then forget it. There isn't any extra time." Hey, when the clock strikes 12 midnight, that about wraps it up, right? I mean, you can look around the gongs there for a little more, but it's over. You say to the guy, "What are you doing?" "These are looking for extra time. See, they will come and take you away, right? There isn't any more time." Now, if you can't get more time, which you can't, what could you get more of? What make a difference in economic results? And here's the keyword. Make it a part of your notes. We're going to consider it tonight. The word is value. And I have a little phrase for your notes. Value makes a difference in results. Value makes a difference. You cannot get more time, but you can create more value. Now here's the first lesson about economics. Everybody should learn it from the time they're old enough to understand what a dollar means, how to earn one, how to get one, how to keep one, and what to do with it. The first lesson on economics, we primarily get paid for the value. That's lesson 1. Bringing value to the marketplace, that's how you get paid. You don't get paid for the time. I know it takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but you get paid for the value, not the time. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of the evening. Is it possible to become twice as valuable in the marketplace and make twice as much money at the same time? Could you become 3 times as valuable? Make 3 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? The answer is yes. If, and it's always there, right? Life is known as a big if. Harry Truman once said, "Life is iffy." How true. And here's a big if we're going to consider it tonight. It's possible to do much better in the marketplace if you get to work primarily on yourself. And that's the theme of our seminar tonight, learning to work primarily on yourself. Individuals have asked me for the last 24 years, how would you foster an above normal pay? The response is turned into an above individual, foster a better than expected handshake. Certain individuals need to find the success. They don't chip away at their handshake. As simple as that is to start on. They let it slide. They don't have the foggiest idea. Foster a better than expected smile and create a better than expected energy. Foster a better than expected interest in others. Foster a better than expected power to win. See, that will change everything. Likely, quite possibly the most baffling experience throughout everyday life is searching for a better than expected work with better than expected pay without turning into a better expected individual. It's called dissatisfaction.